Mic check. Yeah, I'm just getting back on here today. I've been gone for about a week. No videos, drive me crazy. But what I've been doing, I've really just been trying to get all my platforms together. Uh, from now on, I'll be doing Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Those will be what I'm streaming on from now. That's what I've been doing. I've been trying to get all three of them in a line, and that's all I've been doing. I've been hating not doing the lives though. But it takes time to build your followers. So that's what I've been doing. Today, we're gonna talk about the trucking game. Just the trucking game right now. Probably do another 2, 3 videos today. Catch up. The question is, which is better? To lease or buy a semi truck? What's up, Chris? To lease or buy a semi truck? Now, I've done both. I've done both. I paid 2 trucks off through lease and 1 truck off just buying it. So you can do it either way. First thing you should do is pick a good company to work for. If you want to lease a truck on to them, you got to learn freight lanes, where the good loads are. A lot of stuff come into that, such as home time availability. Home time is most important to a lot of truck drivers because most of them have families. So you got to choose that company that's going to fit your need. Now, you do have companies out there that will keep you out there as long as you want to stay out there. But for the most part, I don't think I work but maybe 2 jobs like that in my life. But the rest, basically, you're at home every weekend. Now, with that being said, you got to choose you a good truck. Year, model, etc. That matters. It really matters. Especially when you're talking about leasing a truck. Most companies will lease you a truck, a brand new truck, all the way up to probably 5 years old. So, as a first-time leasee, you probably look at those trucks and say, wow, it got that in there, got that in there. The newer the truck, the more bells and whistles it has. So, if you're just getting into this, I would strongly suggest that you run with that company as a company driver to see what their freight lanes look like, because that's going to determine a lot of what you're going through. So that's one of the biggest problems you're gonna have. That new truck looks very shiny, pretty, bells and whistles. But that one truck, which is gonna be newer, gonna cost you in the lease anywhere from $11, $12, $1,300 a week. I said it. It's gonna cost you $11, $12, $1,300 a week. I've seen it go all the way up to $1,500, $1,600 a week just to drive. So I jumped out there like that before. But when I jumped out there like that, leases wasn't nowhere this high. When I first started driving and leasing, our weekly truck note was like 200, 250. I forgot exactly, but 200 or 250. So times have changed. Back then we did paper logs. We didn't have a log book. We didn't a ELD to tell on us. We ran 1, 2, 3 log books. So we made our money and we was at home when we wanted to be at home. So number 3, what's the difference between leasing a truck and buying a truck? I just kind of touched on that on the last topic. The difference is this. You don't have to have a down payment when you're leasing. You walk into the company, you tell them you want to lease. Bam, sign the paperwork, lease, truck yours. When you want to buy a truck, it's a little bit more difficult than that. Unless you just got the money to go out and buy you a truck. Unless you got the money to buy your truck. I say, a lot of people have a lot of money, enough money to go out and buy a truck. But are you going to be over the road with a truck? Are you trying to be home every day with a truck? It's a lot of variables go along with that. So, you deal with that on your own time and, this is not that for that. But what I will say is this. The difference between buying a truck and leasing a truck is the payment. If you can finance that truck, and it depends on what year you get, this, that, and the third. So I already told you some of these lease purchase programs with these companies, they're like anywhere from $1,000 all up to $1,600. So the difference is this. When you go out and purchase your own truck, your monthly note will only be around, I can't say what it's around, but it won't be $4,000 a month. I think my first one, when I did that finance, was less than $1,000 a month. And I'm going to tell you how I did that. That's when my learning curve started. Going to an actual trucking dealership, they want to see how long you had your LLC established. That's another thing we're going to talk about, the LLC established. So, with that being said, I went to a place called Long Mountain Leasing. Truck note was like $920 a month. Whereas my friends over here, they paying $1,000 to $1,600 a month. And that lease was for about right at 200, not 200, but 2 years. Right at 2 years of paying on it. Then you own it. You got the title. You got everything. So my first truck was it wasn't new. It had some age on it. But I couldn't go nowhere else and buy a truck with a $5,000 down payment and pay that off in 2 years. Now, here's the difference. Just said I paid that truck off in 2 years. You go to a company, these days right here, right now, you paying $1,000 to $1,600 a week. For what, 3 years? I think it's 2.5, 3 years. And at the end of that, they got a balloon payment on it that you might have to pay $5,000 to $10,000, in which you're gonna have to go to a bank and finance the last $10,000 of the truck. So, to me, like I said, I've leased them before, but this was before all that balloon stuff. But now, you gotta do what you gotta do. Leases work for some. Going out and buy them from a third party, it works for them. But what I will say, the biggest deal is that you're still gonna pay in maintenance, fuel, and the truck's gonna make the same amount of money. I don't care if it's brand new, 100 years old. Truck gonna make the same money. But can you make that same money as long as you got $1,500, $1,600 coming out your check a week? That's the biggest difference. I paid like $900, $920, $925 a week for my first purchase. When I first got a truck, paid off for 2 years. Now, if I would have leased that truck, I still would have had 52 weeks of paying $1,500 a week. And now, that when you get stuff like that, when you get notes like that, this is what it does, for one. And this if you new to trucking. This is what these kind of notes do. It takes one, just one major breakdown. I've had several major breakdowns. It keeps you out on the road. You can't go home. Why can't you go home? Because you're trying to get that debt paid down to that company that you leased that truck to. Give you for instance. I'm not going to call the company's name, but I am so in debt to them and have a lot of respect for the owners and got his number on my phone now. When you get a debt, when you lease a truck, when you get a debt, every week, it don't make no difference if you made $10,000 that week. Until you get that debt paid down, every company's different. But most have a cap they put you on, whether it's $1,000 a week, $1,500 a week, until you get the note paid down. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. That's if you're leasing a truck from a company. Now, if you went out and purchased your truck, if you got a warranty, that's good. If you bought a warranty with it, that's good. That's even better. But there's other forms of warranty coverage that you can get when you purchase your own. I went through this company called NTP. NTP. If the motor went out, transmission went out, one box went out, anything with the DEF system, it went out, put the truck in the shop, they pay for it. Because I'm paying them monthly. It's just like everything that goes along with trucking, the trucking game. Now, and I can still leverage my lease against the company. Because if I'm leased to that company, better find you a company that's gonna help you out if you got breakdowns. But so my sum total up in repairs is gonna be much less than somebody that leased that truck, because they're gonna have to pay dollar for dollar. I'm gonna catch a break from NTP because it's in my name and not the company's name. And I tried this out about 2 years ago. Had a friend that was leased on to the same company I told you I cut my teeth with. I said, well, try to get NTP. And I even went to the owners of the company with it. They won't do it because that individual don't own the truck or not paying. It's not in their name. So owning the truck can be very expensive. Now, we look at a lot of stuff. What do you get when you do a lease purchase versus buying one? Freedom. If this company don't work out for me, and I've been in the truck a year and a half, I can take my truck. If you leasing it, you can't go nowhere. If I bought it, if I'm paying notes on it, I can take that truck wherever I want to go and sign on. I've done it 3 times. So that's another situation because most of the old heads like me, we always felt like this. Okay, how long we been with you? If we ain't making no money, we ain't staying. Thanksgiving right around the corner. I was with a company years ago. Things just happen. What up, Anthony? Things just happen. The freight slow down, freight stops. Very few loads. On Thanksgiving, instead of giving checks, this one particular company that I said I cut my teeth with it. I still respect them. I ain't had nothing to do with the freight. But we got no checks. They gave us gift certificates for the 100 Bake Ham store. Because that's all they could do. Because of what's happening, Buck. Now, I look at another thing. These companies don't own no freight. They don't. So a lot of folks leave for this reason, this reason. I don't want to leave a company when I'm not making money to make my ends meet. And when I got a truck, I should be making my ends meet. I'm not a company driver anymore. So ain't no need in working somewhere you can't survive. Like I said, when problems occur, what do? If you leased on to any company, any decent company, they're going to make sure you got repairs. And you know, I should have said this first. The first thing you should do when you're looking out here to lease, buy, purchase, whatever you're going to do to a truck, create you an LLC. Why create your LLC? You separate your business from your personal money. Separate the business and the personal money. What do you mean by that? Pay yourself a salary. I.e., for instance, pay yourself $500 to $700 a week. Put everything else into your business account. Does that make sense? So you putting 5 to 7, you going from maybe from $2,000 to $2,800 a month bring home. But if you're bringing it home on your business side, five up to $10,000. I'm taking that $500, and you take that $500 a week when you already made $5,000 a week. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? That's gonna keep the taxes off your butt. Number 2, creating that LLC is gonna give you business credit. It's gonna give you business credit because when you get ready to go out there and finance a truck, and you're trying to use your business name, first thing you want to know, how long have you been running your LLC? So if you one of the ones out there still leasing the truck, using your social security number, you ain't doing yourself no good. You wasting your own time. Because I'm going to tell you something, and that's very dangerous. Let's say you married, you got a family, you got a house, you got cars, you got land, you got property. And you go out there and have an accident in which you caused what maybe a death, or there's a lot of, let's just say, hundreds of thousands of dollars of damages. Instead of that truck accident coming in your name, which would be your social security number, it will come in your LLC, in which your LLC got insurance. Because you leased onto a company, they got $1 million worth of insurance on you. But when you separate that and use your name instead of an LLC, now you can really kind of separate yourself. Well, they can go after your social security number and the company. So, you know, it's a dirty world out here we live in. We got people out here that want to just create accidents with big trucks. I've seen it. They've tried to do me like that. So when you out here in the market, when you first starting out doing this truck driving thing, ask yourself a few questions. Is this a good company? I see that question a lot. Is this a good company? All of them good. And the reason I'm going to say that, because all major companies got million miles, in which they've been with the company long enough to drive 1 million miles. They're a good company. They ain't stood with the company ups and down. They loyal. Most everybody I know, at least been in 20 years, them been with 3 to 5 companies out of 20 years. That's not uncommon for a truck driver, because I can quit a job today and get a job the next day. It's easy when you got a CDL. But I just wanted to make this video and put this out there because some of y'all jumped into this truck driving thing, and yeah, you want to lease a truck? I don't see nothing wrong with it. If that trucking company can keep you moving so you can be able to afford that truck that you're paying $1,000, $1,600 a week with. Have no problem if they can do that. And on the other side, after you get that $1,000, $1,600 note that's mandatory every week, then you bring home $3,000 to $4,000 a week. Ask yourself that. But that's all I got today, y'all.